That boy Shakur not playing. Shakur Stevenson says he would beat the ish out of Lomachenko. He said he gonna turn high tech into Best Buy Geek Squad. What is y'all talking about? That's what I want to talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Shakur Stevenson playing no games. Shakur Stevenson, in a recent interview, he spoke on fighting Lomachenko. Here's what he says. When I smoke Lomachenko, I think the world would understand that I really am the truth. That should have been the next fight. I think it's a possibility that I stop him. And if not, I'll beat the ish out of him. Dang. Think it's safe to say the kid from Newark is not playing any games. He embraces the Newark attitude really well. He said he will beat the out of Lomachenko. He will beat the out of Lomachenko. Listen, I've been saying the same thing. There's people who keep talking about Shakur and Frank Martin. Who was at fault? Who is responsible for the fight not happening? Listen, the reality of the situation is the WBC, they really tried to play us as boxing fans. And I'm going to explain it again in case you haven't seen my previous work. If you haven't seen my previous videos, it is up to you to hit the subscribe button. It's free. I talk about all things boxing. I've been doing it at a high level for over 10 years. So this is your one-stop shop for all your boxing news. Subscribe, don't subscribe, that's on you. But in my past video, I talked about this. The WBC, they played us all. Here's how. The WBC, in their rankings, they had Shakur Stevenson behind Lomachenko. So Lomachenko was the #1 person and Shakur Stevenson was the #2. They held the top 2 spots, or Shakur was 1 and Lomachenko was #2. Either way, they were the top 2 guys within the WBC in the men's lightweight division. Devin Haney, as we know, undisputed. He was undisputed, and now he's not because he's the champion of recess or whatever, but that's how it went. So what does that mean? If you have the top 2 highest ranked guys, Lomachenko and Shakur, they are 2 guys that have sparred before. Loma should be the one that fought Shakur Stevenson. Again, you got a ton of people and they keep saying and laboring on and carrying on about Devin Haney and Shakur, who is at fault, back and forth, because the fighters, the fighters are going to say their stance, and Devin saying, oh, Shakur should have took the offer, and Shakur saying that Devin is a BI, and all this back and forth. Same thing with Frank Martin. You have this situation with Frank Martin. Shakur Stevenson is saying that it's him that wanted to fight. He is the one that wanted to fight Frank Martin. He's a duck and, he's a beezy, things like that. But that is just a distraction. It's like the Judas did to Jesus. You got to pay attention. Like the Judas did to Jesus. They only here to cause distractions. Like the late great Tupac Shakur said, they are only here to cause distractions. Once again, I feel like the voice of reason in boxing. I know my stuff. I make videos about this stuff. And I have a good memory, great memory. So I remember this stuff. So let's not distract from the ultimate fact that the WBC had Lomachenko and Shakur, the highest ranking people underneath Devin Haney, right? So if Devin's moving up to fight Regis Prograis and he just became a champion in recess or whatever they did with his belt at lightweight, then that means the top 2 ranked people, Lomachenko and Shakur, should have, you guessed it, they should be fighting each other. Shakur keeps calling them out. He's called him out on Twitter. He keeps saying the same thing. He wants a shot. And I, for one, loved the fight. I really wanted that fight because we seen Devin Haney and his win over Lomachenko. Some people say it was controversial. Some people say Devin won. Some people say it should have been a draw. But that would have been a great gauge and a great barometer for us as boxing fans, because we know Devin Haney is a youthful, talented fighter and a lightweight at the time. And we seen how he performed with Lomachenko. Shakur keeps talking this ish and saying he'll beat the out of Lomachenko and beat the out of Lomachenko. And I need to see it because it's great to feel confident as a fighter. But there's a lot of fighters, Jermell Charlo probably said he was going to beat Canelo Alvarez previous to the fight, but then we watched the fight and it didn't happen. So I'm not saying that's not going to happen with Shakur Stevenson or saying that I doubt him, but I know boxing. So at the end of the day, seeing is believing. And that would have been a great gauge and barometer because Lomachenko is a respected name. But Lomachenko has like 20 fights and he has 3 losses. Really should be 4 losses because I thought he should have lost to Jermaine Ortiz as well. And I believe Top Rank and Lomachenko's team, they know Shakur is dangerous. They know he's a bad man. He's youthful. He sparred Lomachenko. So as a precaution, it looks like they're avoiding him and staying away and not making that fight. But if you really think about it, based on the rankings and based on it being a good fight, not only a good fight and the 2 guys were ranked number 1 and 2, it's also a fight that should be doable and makeable and manageable, given the fact that Lomachenko, he's claiming he won with Devin Haney. So if you really felt you won and the whole world seen you win and all that type of stuff, then you shouldn't feel no type of way about fighting Shakur Stevenson, because in your mind, you're not coming off of a loss. But beyond that, it should be makeable because you're both with Top Rank and Bob Arum. So it's funny because PBC particularly, I see old media, the usual suspects. They always complain, oh, Al Heyman, he won't make the great fights and this and that, and PBC is good, and why won't Tank fight people? I see the same things being said, but then when Lomachenko is with Top Rank and Shakur Stevenson's with Top Rank, and they're the highest ranked guys, then the fights don't get made for some reason. Why is it that Lomachenko always gets a pass? When Lomachenko was being called out by the 21-year-old Devin Haney, he got a pass. He got the franchise champion status and didn't have to fight his mandatory Devin Haney, who he would later lose to. Now Shakur is barking up the tree. I want to see the fight. They're with the same people promotionally. They fight on the same network, ESPN. So why can't we see the fight? And Shakur, on top of all things else, he's confident. He sparred with Lomachenko and he's saying he'll destroy him and beat the ish out of him, possibly stop him. It's a great gauge of fights. You know what I mean? But we don't get it. So that's something that the boxing public needs to address. How come only when PBC fighters don't fight someone from across the street, it's a problem, but then there's in-house fights with other promotions and they don't even have to make the in-house fight? And Shakur is going to keep running into this problem because people know he's good and he's skillful. But at the end of the day, people don't want to just hear you'll beat the ish out of someone, you'll do that. They want to see it. You got to fight the people. So his team, his people, they're going to have to start landing him the big fights and the big name. Now, I personally don't have a problem with the Edwin De Los Santos fight. I think it's a good fight stylistically and on paper. Weird that it's happening on Thursday mixed with Grand Prix or whatever, but the fight in and of itself is a good fight. So I have no problem with that. However, I do think a name like Lomachenko, more people know Lomachenko and have studied and followed his career than a guy like Edwin De Los Santos. So let's be real. Beating Lomachenko, given what he's done and his amateur pedigree and how he's revered in boxing, that would be better for Shakur Stevenson to capture a win over him as opposed to a Thursday win over Edwin De Los Santos, who is definitely a good fighter, but he's not on the scope of a Lomachenko in terms of popularity and namesake. And Shakur is running into the same exact problem that Terrence Crawford had with Top Rank. Great fighter, great talent, confident, says they'll beat the ish out of anyone, but we don't get to see those fights. Like Terrence Crawford recently, right at age 35, about to be 36, finally got a fight with a big name like Errol Spence, where there's no, especially in the welterweight division, where there's no debate about it. So we'll see how long it takes for Shakur Stevenson. He's very confident. He says he'll whoop Lomachenko. I personally want to see it. They were both ranked. People keep focusing on Devin Haney and notice the play. Shakur, Devin Haney, Frank Martin. People want to argue up and down about black fighters and black American fighters and who ducked who and create all this chaos. That's what I said earlier, the Tupac quote. It's like the Judas did to Jesus. They're only here to cause distractions. All the black fighters, when it comes to mixing and matching and fighting, everybody want to entertain, oh, this guy ducked or it's this person's fault, but no one's saying it's Lomachenko's fault. Nobody, the Ukrainian fighter, he can go fight George Kambosos, which is really not even a great fight. George Kambosos, I thought he lost his last fight to the Maxi Pad dude, whatever, Maxi Hughes. So for me, I would rather see Loma, who claims to have beaten Devin Haney, fight another guy that was on that 4 horsemen list, which is Shakur Stevenson, another talented fighter. And this one, it would be 2 southpaws. But we can't get that because we know why. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Best in the business, and I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.